Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Matt Williams. I'm a tutor in politics and what is known as the Access Fellow here at Jesus College at the University of Oxford. Now, would you mind joining me in what's known as a physiological sigh? So this has been recommended by many experts, wherein you breathe through your nose, breathe in, inhale once, and then you inhale a second time, slightly more sharply, and then you breathe out slowly through your mouth. Now, that is supposed to calm you down. There's various bits of scientific research which suggests it totally works. It seems to work for me. Try it out for yourself. Anyway, the reason for talking about breathing is because, interestingly, one of the words for breathing in a medical context is aspiration. You will have heard of respiration, which is related. And aspiration refers to breathing upon. Now, that's a sort of literal Latin etymology. In medicine, it can also mean breathing in. So if you aspirate a grape, for example, that could be a medical emergency because you might have a grape stuck in your windpipe. Anyway, the point is that when we aspire to something, we breathe upon it, we exert, we sort of puff out our chests a bit. And I'm really interested in the concept of aspiration because I work in Access at Oxford. So I'm trying to encourage more people to think about applying to competitive universities. And so the question begging is, well, why? Why would I encourage someone to aspire to a university like this? Now, strictly speaking, with this channel, I'm not trying to force people to think about Oxford or just determine that it's the best choice for them, because I don't know what the best choice is for people. I want to tidy up the marketplace for talent in the United Kingdom, which I think is kind of messed up insofar as there are lots of incredibly talented people who don't necessarily know that there are various opportunities available for them that could be really life-changing. And so that's my ambition, is not necessarily to force people to say you ought to come to a university like this because somehow you'll be the best. I want people to make the right decision for them, whatever that may be. But anyway, it still begs the question, why aspire to a university like Oxford? What's the point? What's in it for you? Well, personally and biographically speaking, what I thought was that I'd be the best if I came to the best university. But there's all sorts of trouble with that reasoning. First of all, is Oxford necessarily the best university? I mean, some rankings might suggest as much, but the problem with rankings is that they each say something different, don't they? So what objectively counts as the good, better, best university is clearly disputed. And also, why that sort of competitive spirit? Why the need to be the best? Does it make you the best human? No, not really, and that's kind of a toxic way of thinking. But that certainly was what drove me. I applied to Oxford because I wanted to be the best. Because, bluntly, I didn't like myself very much. I thought, I'm inadequate, I'm unworthy, not valuable, and I need to change that. And so I ought to apply to a place like Oxford because it's so special, and then suddenly I'll be worth something. I'll have that suit of armour on so I can swat people away, and if they ever sort of question my worth. It was really toxic and self-harming and didn't do me any good. And ultimately, you can make yourself better, but you can't ever be the best because that's an unattainable goal. And it's not really going to help someone. So why, again, would I say to an individual, you should think about applying to a university like Oxford? Why should they aspire to that? What is the point? Well, I suppose some people aspire to just the beauty of the place. And, that was part of my story. It is inspiring. That's another breathing metaphor from Latin, in this case, breathing into something, that these beautiful surroundings can, help you unlock certain sort of mysterious feelings. It makes you feel like you're part of something greater than yourself. You're part of some link to a glorious past, perhaps. It's just kind of cool to be around these very old buildings that have been in continuous use and service for centuries and feel like you're a part of it. And I totally get that, and I sign up to that. But again, that logic can only take you so far because, there will always be other beautiful places, and beauty in itself is such a superficial goal. What is the actual value added of being in these beautiful surroundings besides that sort of slightly ethereal sense of, importance or specialness? And also it's quite self-abnegating because I guess you're aspiring to the beautiful things because It is encouraging you to think that they are better than you, if you know what I mean. It's that your association with them is again sort of making up for your inadequacies. So the basic point I'm getting at is that at the root of quite a lot of aspiration in modern society, of sort of ambition, of striving, is, I think, in many people's cases, and certainly in my case, a sense of quite severe inadequacy, a sense of I need to be the best I can be, I need to be competitive for the labour market, I need to be associated with these beautiful things because I'm not a beautiful person. It's all quite toxic and self-harming. And I think the benefit of having now been at Oxford for 20 years is that I've realised that it's helped humble me to think that I will never be the best because I've just met so many incredible people, but that it's not about me, actually. This university is about us. It's the best thing about Oxford are the people that you get to work with all the time, the people that you associate with. That's what makes Oxford special. It's not the buildings, and it's not the sense of being super competitive. It's how collectively we can solve some incredible problems. It is an unusually incredible agglomeration of talent, of opportunities, of resources. It's not unique in that regard, and there are many fantastic institutions that will achieve something very similar to that. So you can get a superb education and you can help solve problems in all sorts of universities, certainly not just this one. But a lot of people perhaps don't realise that what really makes this place special is not what it means for you, but what you could mean for us, but what you could do to help us change something. It's a bit like thinking of team sport, that when you exert as a team, you achieve more. And going back to our breathing discussion, if I want to aspire and breathe upon something, there's nothing that motivates me more than the team endeavour. And the way Oxford is split up into colleges, you can see quite a few around me right now, and the way that we try and work together to solve intractable problems, it's very much a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. And if I was to go back to my younger self and give him some advice, as I will to my sons when they are a bit older, I would say, don't aspire to something because you feel like you're not worth it. Don't aspire to something because you need to be the best, because you're somehow not valuable or inadequate. Don't aspire to something beautiful because you think you're not beautiful. Just aspire to be part of a group of people that will collectively bring the best out in each other. Don't try and do it all individually. It's not all about you, it's about us. And that, I think, is a good reason to apply to a university like Oxford. That is a good reason to aspire. But let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. All the best. Bye.